Hello and thanks for joining the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I am Veronica Danik-Boy. Today on the program, Buhari pleads for patience as bandits kill 32 in Sokoto. And later on the show, Fayose weeps, accuses police of beating him. I will be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Utitoju, Tunde Abaton. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
Journalist Hangout starts now. Well, there is a saying among the Yoruba people of Nigeria that with patience, a man can boil water to softness. This is an apparent reference to the efficacy of patience in solving problems. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari is certainly a man of immense patience, and he is banking on this to solve the intractable challenge of insecurity in the country. President Buhari has pleaded with Nigerians for more patience in his quest to put a permanent end to the senseless killings across the country. But with bandits killing 32 innocent villagers in Sokoto State on Monday, patience of citizens appears overstretched. How much more can they give the president? I started to Jide. But before we go on to Jide now, we'll quickly take this short break to welcome our third guest. Stay with us. Well, we have our third guest joining us in person of Gbenga Onitilo. Thanks for coming on Journalist Hangout. Yeah. And before he came on set, we were talking about the president pleading for patience as bandits kill 32 persons in Sokoto. And I was coming to you, Jide, to ask how much patience or how much time can Nigerians give the president?
Well, the only thing that I want to demand for the president is that he should get more serious about the security issues. And I am disappointed that the president has joined his apparently incompetent aides who are claiming that politicians are behind these killings.
You said something, get more serious. How do you mean?
He has to, we've been telling the president to rejig his security aides, if I can describe them as such. There's no point holding on to the same managers of our security who at this time have shown clearly that they are not on top of this situation. So he needs to solve the problem. Nigerians are not interested in excuses, oh, it's politicians here and there. It is a lie from the pit of hell that it's politicians who are behind these killings. I just returned from the border between Katsina and Zamfara. I came from a place where these bandits killed 25 people, from a town where they killed 25 people. These guys began to operate from 8 a.m. in the morning and left the village at 6 p.m. unrestrained. They were killing people for fun. They were stealing people's cattle. They came with the 120 motorbikes, and each of them had either an AK-47 or an AK-49. So this is the situation. And in the whole of that area, there's no access to any form of communication. The people are not connected to national grid. So there was no way by which they could raise an alarm. In fact, it is Governor Masari who was telling me when I saw him last week that he was going to appeal to Airtel to take their mast to that area so that at least those who will be able to communicate. So the truth is, people, these bandits, and when I asked some of those people, they said, see, for 7 years, these guys had been harassing us. So it can't be that politicians just started instigating killings and all that. We will never solve the problem if all we do is just lie, find cheap excuses to give many ignorant Nigerians, because a lot of our people are so ignorant If you want to know how that ignorance is bliss in our country, just get on Facebook. The number of ignorant people who have education that apparently the education that they have has no value is humongous. Because you know from even the way they speak, the things that they write, and these are the people who are extremely gullible. They want us to believe that they love Buhari more than Aisha. And then the truth, even when you tell the truth, they will hate you. They will say, oh, this one is, we don't know where it belongs. We just have to belong on the side of the truth. Yeah. That is what matters. We have to be biased on the side of the truth. These killings are becoming intolerable. The day you try to solve the problem here, you will find that those guys will move elsewhere. For a long time, people praised Governor Tambua in Sokoto that he was able to solve, security problems. But what have we seen? We are bombarding them in Zamfara because the Air Force Special Forces moved to Zamfara. Now they've left that place for somewhere else. When people say that it is a failure of governance, I agree. You have Zamfara close to Sokoto State, close to Katsina. They are unable to solve this problem. But you have Katsina, they solved the problem for almost 3 years now. And in the past, Zamfara, you have Katsina, they've been able to solve the problem. And in the past, Katsina used to be a major place for these killings by bandits. In fact, in one day, the day former President Jonathan visited Zamfara to campaign, Katsina to campaign, I don't know why Zamfara keeps going to my mouth. The day he visited Katsina to campaign, 154 people were killed by armed bandits. So when we say, we have a history of people being wasted by these guys who come to steal cattle. When they come to steal cattle, they don't care whether the cattle is pregnant. They don't care whether it's very little. Right. They just steal. So this is something that has been with us for years. If it was new, I could believe that, oh, politicians, they don't want Buhari to win an election. But this is not the truth. And you know why it bothers me? Remember in December, when we had fuel scarcity, it looked like I was the only one telling Nigerians that these aides of the president were lying when they said, oh, it was caused by hoarding, it was caused by smuggling. Today, nobody complains about fuel scarcity again. Are we saying that we have defeated smuggling in our country?
No.
If you tell me that we have defeated smuggling in our country, I will take you to places where rice smuggling booms, both in northern Nigeria and in southern Nigeria. So let's learn to first tell the truth, admit that this is the extent of the problem that we have. If we need help, let's go for help. If we need to do other things, let's do it. But to begin to lie that it is politicians, that means we don't want to solve the problem.
All right, let me bring Gbenga in now. A majority of Nigerians voted in this administration because of this issue of security. That was one of the reasons. And seeing the president's background as having a military background and also coming in to be the commander-in-chief, one felt that this issue will be a walk in the park for him. But right now, he's asking for patience.
The issue is, like Judy rightly said, we're not children, students of history. The issues that we have happening, the killings, the bandits, is something that history dates back to ages across sub-Saharan Africa, across the Sahel. And you are looking at porous borders. You are looking at lack of collaboration. You are looking at us being overstretched in being able to even man. Because if you can't man your borders, you're as helpless as anything. When you hear Donald Trump talks about the issue of border control, border patrol is key for security in any nation. And as it stands, we don't even have the numbers to even be able to secure our borders or secure our people. Because right now, even the military is overstretched. One time you take them to Zamfara, the bandits know they relocate to another place. And you have, the bandits that just did what they did in this region. He said it's a very remote place, accessibility, you even have to access. The thing happened since Monday. The report did not come out until Wednesday. So which means if we really do an holistic research, you will find out that there are killings going on in several places at times that are even underreported. So we're talking about the level of development in Nigeria still on a medieval age. And we have people that turn issues of debt into political issues. When issues of debt happens in a nation, it's not something to be used to score political points or to be used to do comparison with governments that have come before you. The thing is this: we must deal with issues. Human lives are evolved. As it stands right now, look at, let me just give you an example. Look at the 12 children, is it about 12 boys in Thailand? In Thailand, with the coach. They knew they had limitations in being able to get those children out. They had to get some of the best divers from United Kingdom, SEAL team from America. As far as Australia, the Chinese were involved. There were collaborations. They admitted their limitations. But the problem with Nigeria is we don't admit our limitations. We turn everything to politics. If the Thai government has been playing based on politics, those children will be dead by now. But they admitted their limitations. We have limitations. In terms of security for the past 3 years. It shows we don't have what it takes to secure the lives of Nigerians. And it's something that precedes this government. It's something that we have been battling with over the years. And we've been living in denial. So when it comes to the military aspect, we don't have the numbers. Securing our borders, we don't have the numbers, we don't have the technology, we don't have the architectural framework. Because if you have people as security heads, the DSS, NIA, the Air Force, the Navy, and the police, and the Nigerian Civil Defense as well, if we've had all of them over 3 years, and this has been happening, and the president have not deemed it fit to get either these guys out, or have new people in, or have a complete overhaul of the security architecture of Nigeria. That's why the issue of the state police are even bringing up is beyond that. All right, because the issue is we keep cherry picking to address the issues that border on Nigeria. Okay.
Let me come to Tunde right now. The function or the responsibility of any country is to secure lives and property. And when the commander-in-chief comes out to say that you need to be patient with me, what does that imply for you? And do Nigerians have an option right at this point?
Well, I think we have an option. And the president too has options. When you keep on saying patience, 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 there's a limit to any human endurance at any point in time. When you keep on asking them to endure, when they get to a breaking point, like if you are pursuing a snake, when I was young, when you pursue a snake, when it gets to a particular dead end, it will turn back to you and begin to bite you. I think one of our fundamental problems in this country is that we have inability, either out of insincerity or naivety, we have inability to properly assess our problems. Because when you don't assess a particular problem, you don't know how to get out of that particular problem. It has gone beyond the realms of politics. It is social, political problem we have in this country. And it is manifesting on the configuration of Nigeria as a country. If you say because of the part, you have some other free movement of people in West Africa, the question you ask me is that, is it because in order to please your neighbor, you expose your children or your citizens to danger in order to please your neighbor? Laws are made to ensure the survival of any entity of a particular geographical region. So if it means we have to go back to that particular law and set it aside for a particular point in time. Look at what America is even doing with China now. They are saying that before you can bring any new phone into the US, if you cannot implement. I could remember in 1979, it was Reagan who did protectionism in order to protect the American industries. So now, China is the biggest marketing problem to any country in the world. So, and America is finding an alternative to them. Don't come here with any good. Come and assemble here, come and manufacture here, and employ a reasonable number of people. So if Nigeria is finding it difficult to address and analyze its own security thing, it means we are not prepared to solve that problem. Talk less of the president asking Nigerians to be patient. For how long? 2 weeks ago, he asked them to be patient. Yesterday, too, he was asking them to be patient. For what? For what? So what it means is that we have to face the real issue and get people out of governance to analyze our problem. The moment you keep on relying on those people who are being provided the same attitude to solving that problem, you are not likely to get a different answer. So the president has to move away from the cocoon of the limitations of those people that are surrounding him and try fresh hands. Let us analyze the problem of this rustling, because it could be economic. Initially, they used to tell us that because of the desertification in Nigeria, people are moving. It is no more valid. That question is no more valid. Another one that is also not valid, which I find difficult to accept, is that the president probably knows that some people are killing people. No president who is seeking a relation will derive joy or political sophistry in getting those people that he's going to ask to come and kill. But the problem is that we have not identified and properly analyzed that problem. That is why when you have a disease, if there's no proper diagnosis, you keep on moving from one doctor to the other, one doctor to the other. So what it means is that, Jide said it about 6 months ago, that from what we have seen, the problem of castle rustling or herdsmen is much more potential to destroy and bring Nigeria down than that of Boko Haram. What it means is that these people have more potency to destroy Nigeria, because the kind of ammunition they have now is more potent, and they are using it in a more grievous way than the Boko Haram people. The Boko Haram, they normally strike, and you can predict them. But this one, they are attacking simultaneously all over the country. They are not attacking one community, they are attacking simultaneously, because they know our limitations when it concerns security, when it concerns communication, when it concerns movement. Most of these areas in the north, they have narrow roads beside the major ones. For instance, he said something, I traveled on Sunday morning, about 12 hours to the northern part of Nigeria. Unfortunately, I would say it's unfortunate, I did not see any herdsmen carrying big guns. But that does not mean that in the remote areas of Nigeria, they are not operating freely because there's no communication. So it also brings you to the fact that the government, if we are able to solve this problem because of lack of communication, then we have to sit down as a country and begin to restructure Nigeria in such a way that there will be movement of people to be able to solve a particular problem. Not the kind of system we have in place.
All right, Jide, I come back to you now. He said something about the potency, and from the statement made by the president, he said any attempt to try his government will be met with equal force. And so far, would you say that we have the firepower to really challenge the activities of these people?
No, first and foremost, his government is being tried. So the president shouldn't boast that any attempt to try, no, they are trying his government, they are challenging his government. He has to know. He has to be told that his government is being challenged. In fact, his authority as commander-in-chief is being challenged. Yeah. Because when people continue to visit violence on fellow Nigerians in the rampant manner that these guys are doing it, they are challenging his authority. They are saying that, hey, look, you cannot stop us. Because they respond to the threats by Nigerian leaders to deal with them by further killing people. The president went to Zamfara. He paid a visit to Zamfara. As soon as he left, within 48 hours, they went and slaughtered people again. So this is not a question of, say, any attempt to try my government. No, Mr. President, your government is being tried. You need to know that. You need to be told. Your government is being tried. And we are saying that your government must respond in a heavy-handed manner to this assault on the well-being of Nigerians. They can't be killing us like this. Today, it is innocent farmers in Dansabao, in Gangare, and other places that are being killed. Tomorrow, it could be any of us. People should not think that because they are where they are, oh, they are safe, this and that. No. You could even be traveling from one state to another, and then you will fall victim of these remorseless killers of the Nigerian people. That's why we are saying, look, respond to these killings appropriately. And the way to respond is to visit the full weight of the law on these people. As for whether we are potent enough, let me tell you, because, okay.
Before you continue, we have Mukhtar on the line calling from Kano. Mukhtar, go ahead with your contribution.
Hello. I agree with you all.
Good evening.
Let me make the contributions that Nigerians should continue to be patient. I think to me, it's not acceptable. For how long can we be patience. When we are facing hardship, he said we should be patient. Now we are losing our fellow brothers. He said we should be patient. There is a limit to what we can be patient to. Because the typical example is that you deploy 30,000 police to Ekiti while others are being killed. Innocent lives are being killed in Nigeria. In the Holy Quran, it says, if an innocent life is killed, the leader, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will ask him to account for that. Also in Christianity, James, Matthew chapter 2, verses 4, said, ye shall not kill an innocent life. If you do, God will now wake you up and account for the innocent soul that can be killed. So it is not possible that we continue being killed. We should be proactive, please and please.
All right, Mukhtar, thank you for your contribution. Please go ahead.
Yes, as for whether we are potent enough to solve this problem. Look, I traveled from Katsina right up to a village called Dansabao. Dansabao is at the border between Katsina and Zamfara. I was looking at the village where they slaughter people. It's just a stream that separates both communities. And I went there, spoke with the IDPs, the people, victims of the carnage. You see, as I drove from Kankara, the headquarters of the local government, right up to that Dansabao, is just about 15 kilometers. But you need 2.5 hours to do that journey. About 20 kilometers, but you need 2.5 hours. When we discuss this next week, I will show people pictures. You see that some of our people are completely forgotten. Where they are, if they come under attack, there's no way they can be rescued. Before you send policemen to those areas, they've probably killed the entire people in that community. And as I drove, I didn't see a single policeman. It was when, apart from the police, the soldiers that they gave me to enable me go to one of the most dangerous parts of our country. Apart from the soldiers, 2 trucks of soldiers that they gave me to go to that area, I didn't see a single policeman manning any checkpoint right up to the time I got to that village. Not one. So how do we save those people if they come under attack? So even the distribution of security personnel is an issue. It's an issue. That's why I'm not surprised that that guy mentioned sending 30,000. It's absolutely unnecessary to militarize our elections as we are doing. Because those guys could probably be able to save a few lives. It was when I got to the town, to that village, that I saw a few civil defense men and some soldiers. So our towns and villages are not sufficiently protected. And there is a forest that runs from from Niger State right up to Central Republic, Central African Republic. That forest goes through Katsina, goes through Zamfara. In fact, Zamfara, they have a huge chunk of that forest in the Sandao area. Maru, all of these places where they are killing people. I'm telling you, it stretches up to Central African Republic. So how do people come in? It's an old cattle grazing route. Now, people come in through that forest to kill our people. I pity Nigerians who complain when they hear that they are arrested. Oh, this one was arrested, it's a full animal arrested. But those guys are not Nigerians. Nigerians will see the video that I brought from that scene. People saying, look, those who are killing us are not Nigerians. So if you have sympathy for killers, if you have sympathy for killers because you think those killers are your brothers, then you are completely ignorant. The people who come into our country to murder our people, they are largely from Niger Republic. This is what the victims told me. And there's a way by which you can differentiate a Fulani who is Nigerian from a Fulani who is probably from Mauritania or from other places. The dressing is different. Even the way they keep their hair is different. So these are foreigners. And it was for this reason that Governor Masari of Katsina State went as far as Maradi to have a manager in Niger Republic, to have a meeting with the governor. And since he had that meeting, both countries have been working together to ensure that at least, because Katsina has borders with Niger Republic, to ensure that at least they don't come in through that side. So just as we are collaborating with Chad and Cameroon to defeat Boko Haram, if we want to put an end to these killings by even herdsmen and these bandits in Zamfara and now in Sokoto State, honestly, we must involve Nigeria's neighbors. If we don't involve our neighbors and we sit in Abuja and we continue to lie through our teeth that it is politicians that are behind it, honestly, people will continue to die. And we can't continue to watch people die the way they are dying.
All right, let's quickly go on this break and return to talk more on this topic. Stay with us. All right, we're still watching the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout, and we're still looking at the president's plea for patience from Nigerians concerning the security situation. And then I come to you now, Gbenga. Now, beyond, you talked about state policing. Yeah. Beyond that, which, because there has been debate about this, even on the floor of the Senate, and there is a bill seeking to amend that. But then beyond that, the question of security votes, what governors do with the security votes, because they are the security officers of the state. Yeah. What do they do with this? And also looking at, this is more of a local problem before you look at the federal coming in to help intervene. Yeah,
one thing we must not take away is we have a defective security architectural framework for Nigeria. And what we have been riding upon is what has come from the colonial days. In the colonial days, probably we were about 40-something million. Today, we are close to 200 million. And we have been running the same framework of security architecture that was developed by the colonial masters, that was more of elitists in its working. And that is what we are still practicing today. And the realities of today and the realities of the challenges we have, like Judy said, across the Sahel, sub-Saharan Africa, porous borders, not having enough manpower. You're talking about lack of infrastructure. You're talking about lack of funding, providing healthcare, and all those. Those things also impact on security. You cannot just isolate one thing. So that's why I'm a bit dumbfounded with the Senate just taking one thing. I'm thinking when you address that one thing about the state police, everything fizzles out. It's beyond that. There are a whole lot of items. For example, the governor of the state, Lagos State has been proactive enough to set up a Lagos State Security Trust Fund, get the private sector involved to be able, neighborhood watch. Oh, look, you have to work based on the realities on ground. Now we know the federal government controls the police system, controls the police. That is well known to everybody. And you are collecting security votes of maybe 500 million a month. And you have a chief security officer. You have people that gather intelligence and provide intelligence for you. One of the governors said he resigns at the CSO. It's better he steps down. If you cannot really think, you need to think out of the box. The realities of the security of the people you are governing. That when he swore to uphold the Constitution, security was one of the things he swore to. Whether the structure is right or not, the issue of the structure, let's leave it aside. You have funding. There are items within the Constitution which the state governor can ride upon to provide security, to secure the lives of its people. You are even bounded. States are bounded by states. You can collaborate with states. Your borders are bounded with other countries within West Africa. You can collaborate with them. So the issue is this: you have funding. What are you using the funds to do? Are you only using it to secure yourself as a governor? Or rather, you are investing the money. Look at what Lagos State has done. Provide vehicles. They even provide some form of power bikes, kitted up all those policemen. So they've seen that there are some places that vehicles are not enough to provide the support or the logistics of security. So they provide vehicles. They went even beyond that, getting people in different communities. Lagos State's, got people in communities to be able to even, the essence of those guys is to gather intelligence. When you gather intelligence, you can feeding up to. So it's a whole holistic thing. So some of these governors need to rise up. The issue of constitutional amendment is become a political issue. But beyond that, you must be proactive enough to think out of the box and look at the realities of the challenges that you have faced in your region and come up with unconventional way to secure the people. So they have the funding. What exactly are they doing with it?
All right, before I come to you today, we have Anene on the line calling from Abuja. Go ahead with your contribution.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Anene is my name, and I'm calling from Abuja.
All right.
The suggestion I want to make is that what is happening is a clear indication of leadership, of failure of leadership. Because, I can't understand why this number of policemen will be deployed to Ekiti just for an election. And we are talking about, what is happening in Sokoto, everywhere. Nobody is safe anymore anywhere in this country. And then you guys are not telling the authorities the truth as it should be told. Nigerians are dying, for God's sake. Something should be done. We have been patient for how many years now? It's getting to 4 years. For how long will we be patient? How many more people will die before something will be done?
All right, thank you, Anene, for your contribution. We need to move on now today. Benga said the governors need to be proactive. Perhaps they might have also been overstretched, especially with the security votes.
Well, I don't think that is the issue. I may sound too prophetic, but I think the problem basically is that most of our leaders don't know us, and they don't know the people they are ruling over. You see, if you ask me, none of the local states in Nigeria has about less than 12 local governments or 15 local governments. I know that most of those governors, they don't visit those people before they are elected. They just go to state capitals or professional headquarters and campaign and go back. Because if you really know your people, and you know the architecture of your people, you know the problems and challenges of your people, then if you have any vision at all, because most of our leaders are visionless, if you have a vision, you will know whether we have a capacity to bring about your vision, the reality of your vision. But when you don't know the people that you are ruling over, when you don't go deep into the areas you are ruling over, how are you going to devise a particular program or system that will make sure that you carry out that first responsibility, and that is security? Like he was saying now, if there's in the community I live within, between the border of Ogun and Lagos, I'm not being too alarmist. If armed boundaries should visit us this evening, before we get to the police, it will take hours. You ask me why? There's no road. And when there's no infrastructure, people will perish. Not only wisdom, when there's no infrastructure, people will also perish. So the problem now is that when a governor of a state does not even know all the people that lives in that particular state, how you assess that particular state, what they do is to concentrate on provincial and state headquarters to give them road. How are you going to know that something is happening somewhere? So number one is that a president of Nigeria, the governor of a state, a councillor, the chairman of a local government must have all the constituents of the state in his palm. So if anything is happening, you know what to do. And you have a vision of doing that. But what kind of program are you devising when you don't even know your people? Most of our leaders don't know Nigeria. When you don't know Nigeria, you cannot have a vision of how to bring about Nigeria as a country. America has about 4 time zones in the US. But if anything happens in any part of America, people will tell us that it has taken them 200 years. Must it take us more than 57 years to know Nigeria? Because I keep on saying most of our leaders don't know Nigeria. If you know your country, if you know your people, you know the solutions to their problem. So when they sit down now and begin to give you a blueprint of the security of the country, you don't know the country they are giving you. They sit down in a particular office. The Office of Statistics, they publish statistics about employment every week or every month. It is fake because it is not based on the reality of the Nigerian architecture.
All right, back to Judith. Now, the Senate has called for a multi-dimensional approach to the security challenges. And from what you have seen, what in your view would be this multi-dimensional approach?
Part of it is what we talked about earlier. If you look at the problem of the killings in Zamfara, for example, whether we like Governor Abdulaziz Yari more than he likes himself. The truth is that he has not done enough. Yeah, you may say that the forest in Zamfara stretches longer than Katsina and other places, but what are the measures that he has taken? In Falgore Forest, in Tudunwada local government, on the way to Jos in Kano State, the governor of Kano State came up with the idea of amnesty program. And that amnesty program effectively solved the problem of cattle rustling in Kano State. It's no longer rampant. Some will argue that, they resorted to jungle justice and that that was why it came to an end. It's a lie. Because we know that in Zamfara, those bandits used to deliberately come and wipe out people as a form of vengeance against attack by vigilantes. So that is not tenable. But they've solved that problem. In Katsina State, Governor Masari came up with the amnesty program. And as part of the demands that the bandits made, they even asked for schools in some of those communities. They asked for schools, they asked for road, they asked for water supply. You can't imagine. Well, at the end of the day, there is peace in those areas. And the governor went as far as Niger to find a solution. What has Abdulaziz Yari done in Zamfara beyond threatening that he is going to resign, he's no longer the chief security officer and all that? So you must approach the solution to that problem in a multidimensional way. It's easy to talk about state police and all that. Even states that cannot pay salaries regularly are talking about state police. It's ridiculous. So let's find, if the solution to this problem lies outside our country, we must find that solution.
Okay.
So let's look for different means of solving the problem. The killings must end.
All right, now when we return, Fayose weeps, accuses police of beating him. Stay with us. Well, like in movies, any spectacle on the planet is capable of being enacted in politics, especially in a nascent democracy like ours. Nigerians are being treated to the spectacular in the southwest state of Ekiti, with a few hours to the eagerly awaited Saturday governorship contest there. Like a scene from a blockbuster movie, Governor Ayodele Fayose wept before television cameras. The weeping Governor Fayose blamed his ordeal on policemen, whom he accused of beating him after a botched rally by the People's Democratic Party, PDP. We wait with measured breath to see what more drama to come as the election beckons. Jide, before now, Fayose was talking tough, and we could see him all over the place. No one saw this new turn.
I've heard people say, oh, so he's a coward after all. And I just look at them. He has his reasons. Fayose is trying to attract votes. Our people, we don't like it when it appears that someone who has tremendous power is cheating a lesser being. So he's trying to play the victim now. He's trying to play the victim. Remember, I said this some time ago that the attempt to recall Dino, will fail.
Yes.
Because if it was done in 2016, it could have succeeded. But Dino went to court, he continued to kick the matter down the road, so that he would buy time. During that time, he moved around. And during that time, some actions were contrived to the point that people now began to see Dino as being persecuted. And when our people see you in that light, that, oh, they are trying to cheat him, look at him now, he's fighting for us, they beat him up, he's crying before the cameras. Honestly, even those who did not want to vote for you initially, they will start thinking, oh, you see now, why are these people so wicked? Then they will be thinking of voting for you. So Fayose knows what he's doing. That thing that the neck braces I have is not protecting any neck. It's not protecting any neck because there is no damage to his neck. You can see there is a fresh picture of that thing hanging loosely on his neck. Yeah. If it is meant to protect the neck, it shouldn't hang loosely like that. Nigerians, you see, by the time some people will realize why Fayose did this, they will discover that he's not a fool. You can abuse him all you want, call him names, call him a coward. He knows what he's doing. Fayose has perfected the art of securing the support of the lower rungs of our society. He reminds me of Bukola Saraki's father. The elites in Kwara State never liked him. The Gobirs of this world, the Abdurazaks of this world, the Belgores, they never supported the Gambaris. But he continued to defeat the elites in any election. Because why? He deliberately connected directly to the poor people. Yeah. These are people who go and line up in his house, and in those days, you'll be giving them just 50 kobo. And they will take it and trek many kilometers to their homes. But the elites had no business even relating with the poor people. So he identified the people that he needs, and he continued to connect with them. Fayose connects with the Okada riders, connects with bus drivers. So these are the people, and the problem with us is we think that everyone reasons, we are educated, we think that everyone reasons like us. So when we're analyzing this, yes, I said, you are saying that, but this is wrong now. This thing is not protecting his neck. This thing is not hanging the correct way. The illiterate that he is appealing to by his actions do not have such understanding of what we are talking about. So at the end of the day, he has earned some sympathy votes, whether we like it or not. So what the APC need to do is to go and work harder. Because this man didn't just put on that show. He put on the show to achieve an aim. And if they are not careful, he will do what he did to them again in 2014.
In a different way.
In a different way. Maybe it won't be 16-0 this time. So if you want to defeat him, work hard. Think less about what he is doing. Work harder at attacking his primary base. Right. You know what his primary base is? That is how you can defeat him. Okay. The guy is just, I look at it, I continue to laugh because I know what he wants to achieve.
All right, Benga, your thoughts on this issue?
You know, when that incident happened, I posted something on my wall. I said the major opposition party just fell for his theatrics by the actions they themselves have taken. It was a script. It was a grandmaster script, and basically to appeal to his base. Like Judy rightly said, the elites, which I'm part of, analyze situation when it comes to elections and politics differently. Politicians don't think like us. He had an agenda to appeal to his base, and he knew the people that he's competing against have all the federal might, they have all the funding, but he understands how a basic grassroots person thinks. The question we should be asking ourselves, with all the noise people make on social media, how many of them truly vote? How many of them are involved in electioneering and campaigns? I'm talking about electioneering and campaigns. These people that Judy mentioned, the artisans, the market women, all those people are the ones that are involved in ward meetings. They are the ones that are involved in voting at primaries. They are the ones that are delegates.
They have the time.
They have the time. I don't have the time to go sit down and be looking for one PVC. These are the base he's appealing to, trying to get sympathy votes. You know, I actually watched a video when a video that tear gas was being thrown, and the people are saying, Emma Joko, meaning don't throw stones. So they are trying to get us to react so that they can shoot us. Don't throw. Some people were just shouting and everybody did not pick up the stones and left. So there was an agenda. So like Jide said, some people that have said before they will vote the other party, with that thing that not happened, they don't think like us. They don't analyze situation like us. They are a bit more emotional with issues, and all the things he has done till now, it was a script. It was a script, and The people that are playing down on it should go and find out how did the bull control the whole of Ibadan for a long time.
All right, Tunde.
Despite not going to school.
As much as we wonder how our politics got to this level of theatrics, how much impact is this going to have, from your point of view, on Saturday?
Let me take you back to 2014 when the result of the Ekiti election was announced. The first thing Dr. Fayose said then was that if the election is true, if the result is true, it means the social attitude of the people of the Southwest has changed somehow. But what I'm saying today is that what it means more is that somebody who is not in the mode of an intelligent people that people of Ekiti are known for has defeated them several times over, in spite of their education.
If you can just hold the thought, we have Benga on the line calling from Abuja. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Benga from Abuja.
All right.
Yes, the analysis of your guest on the issue of killing have really shown that changing the service chief will not achieve much, because the two basic thing is what this killing happens in remote places where people can hardly access, and the lack of communication and intelligence. So changing service chief will not achieve much.
All right, Benga, we have moved past that, but you can call back to look at the topics we are looking at now. We are looking at the elections in Ekiti. Go ahead.
So what it means is that if Fayose, over a period of 8 years, is able to change the social attitude, the response of the people of ordinary man in Ekiti State to the reality of his own political goal, it means that he has succeeded in enacting a new political culture for the people of the state, with the enlightened citizenry are finding and struggling to change, and which is the reality. And the reality is that, like he said, those people who are always eager to collect their PVC and eager to go to the polling booth, like do you know in Kwara State, when you get to, I have covered the election 3 times in Kwara, when you get to any polling booth 6 a.m. in the morning or 6:30, you know those who are going to find women. They are already there at 6:30, old people in the morning. These are the beneficiaries of the largesse, normally doled out by late Oloye. And God forbid, in the last 8 years in the Ekiti State, those people who have been voting, who are known to be voting, are the people that Fayose is appealing to their base sentiments. He has used emotion to cajole the people. And my fear is that if the intelligent people, if the so-called educated people, if the smart people are unable to get the handwriting on the wall, it means that the man will continue to have his way, while the people continue to wallop in poverty. Because the level of Ekiti now, Ekiti is basically a civil service state. They cannot attract any investment with the kind of social system that Ekiti has now, except we have somebody there. But the reality is that.
Ade from Ekiti, go ahead with your contribution.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm Ade from Ekiti.
All right, go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, it's so painful that there is no one to counter the opinion of this journalist in the house today. Let us face the reality in this country. A man that fights for the peace of his nation or his people is well loved by his people. If people don't want an Igbo man that put classes in this, that wouldn't relate to these people. They said that your policy is dramatizing. Did you watch the video at all? Could you see the sporadic shooting? Is that also a drama?
Did you show where he was attacked?
Peaceful contest, peaceful rally. Is that a drama? Why would they siege the office of the incumbent governor? He's not in his office. They came there, they locked his office up.
All right.
For what reason?
Benga, thank you for your contribution. But then we haven't still seen videos of him.
Where he was attacked.
Oh, the thing is, our people are impatient. We have not analyzed whether it was wrong to fire tear gas.
We are just talking about,
the reality of the...
This is the way, the same way is the way people behave on Facebook. Once you heard a comment, they start abusing it. They are not ready for any healthy debate. Yes. We have not reached the point. I have said repeatedly that we have no reason to militarize our elections. Yeah. And if you asked me, I will have said that the police should not have dispersed them. Yeah. People have a right to congregate. They have a right to come together. So this is the thing. So nobody is saying that it was right to attack him, although we have not seen the actual video of where he was attacked. What he said, he was attacked and all that. It could be true, it may not be true. We are just doing our own. We are not interested in taking side. I don't belong to APC. I don't belong to PDP. I just want to, I enjoy staying in the middle and analyzing objectively from the bottom of my heart. This is the way it is. So we are it's not a question of, oh, there's nobody to challenge what the journalists are saying. You know, it's our opinion that they ask us to give.
We are running out of time, but quickly, with the way the deployment of police security personnel, which some people have, condemned, do you think, as some people have said, this is going to stem some form of disenfranchising of some people because as they have said, or as people have said, some people might be intimidated with these persons and with the twists and turns that have so far taken place in the state?
For me, I won't subscribe to such militarizing elections. And it disenfranchises people. It puts fear in the air. It puts uneasiness, on calmness. I had one of the political parties that was mobilizing for them. I was chatting with the guy about things happening in Ekiti. He said he's leaving tonight. He's afraid for his life. Let me
even tell you, the debate that we've organized, we needed to distribute invitations to people to be physically present, attend the debate. We couldn't distribute a lot of those heavies because people have chosen to stay away. People are terrified. The sound of tear gas to many people is the sound of
because the way it sounds, the way it clicks.
You know, so many people will just ask themselves, I can't put my life at risk just to go and vote. And that's why I would say elections should be like carnival that people will enjoy. It's not, it shouldn't be.
I think Nigeria remains a major place in Africa.
I think one issue that we have to know is that, like you said, the government, the opposition have successfully walked into a net set by Fayose by highly militarizing that particular state by sending a sense of insecurity. No, because Fayose has succeeded in making so much noise that even people will be scared, except the government. The opposition has no other option rather than to ask the government to come in. So if they are succeeded, in doing that, he has also succeeded in reducing the number of people who will come out to vote.
But it could work either way. If his own people stay away, how is he going to win?
I think he has made people to
sympathy votes. I think is the major
script. He has acted his own script.
And made the other one feel like fool.
And a lot of the foreign observers are coming in because he's been saying that they want to rig.
He wants to rig.
But I must thank you, gentlemen, for your thoughts on the various topics we have treated this evening. Well, that's all on Journalist Hangout. So join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. Watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on other platforms showing on the screen and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I am Veronica Danik Boy. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.